guys, welcome back to Southern Gal True Crime. If it's your first time here, thank you very much for visiting. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. The last couple of days, I've apparently fallen ill to something. I don't know if it's the flu or what. So I haven't been feeling great. And earlier I took a dose of NyQuil, so I will do my best to make it through this video without being too loopy. Well, any more loopier than I am normally. But anyway, tonight I have a solved case, as a homicide case. I usually share missing persons or unsolved cases, but I just felt it was important to share this particular story and case with you, to keep the victim's memory and her name out there and alive, and also because she is deceased, but as of 2023, her body has still not been found. They know the general area of where the body is, but they have been unable to locate it. So, as always, I will be bringing you all that information and details. But first, as always, I share a missing person, current missing person, with you. That's the most important thing that I like to do here, and that I want to do here, is bring attention to our missing persons and unsolved cases. And tonight's missing person, oh goodness, is, sorry, I'm having trouble with as always, having trouble with the slides. There we go. I have to get it full screen so I can read it. All right, tonight's featured missing person is Lakeisha G. Batchelor. She is a 19-year-old white female, 5'6", 230 pounds, with blue eyes and black hair. She went missing on July 11th of this year, so not too long ago, from Jonesboro, Arkansas. So if you have any information about Lakeisha or her disappearance, you can contact the Jonesboro Police Department at 870-935-5551. So I urge you, please do share this information. Like, share, comment on this video. That helps get the information out. And I always put the link to the description in a link to the description. See, I'm already loopy. I put a link to this information in the description box so you can share it anywhere, everywhere. The more people that see it, the better. All right, let me back out for a minute. Move this, and we will get to our case for tonight. And our case is regarding Alicia Minton. Alicia went missing on June 1st, 2007 from Rogers, Arkansas. She was, at the time of her disappearance and death, she was 29 years old. I'm not going to give you all the vitals because, like I said, she is known to be deceased. This is just such a sad story. So we will get into the details. Alicia was last seen at an Enterprise rent-a-car in Rogers, Arkansas. She had dropped off, she was there to drop off her children with a friend because she was going to go to Beaver Lake. And after she dropped off the kids and left, she was never seen again. It was about 1 p.m. when she dropped off her kids. She was driving her silver BMW, and she had not packed any bags for a trip, so she was not expected to be gone for very long. I'm assuming that it was maybe just like a day trip to the lake. she wasn't, like I said, she was a mother. Maybe just, all moms need a little time to themselves to relax and unwind. So she headed off to Beaver Lake, which is in the very northwest part of Arkansas. Now the last day she was seen was June 1st. On June 7th, investigators found her BMW at a parking lot near the intersection of 2nd and Locust Street. Then on June 15th, Alicia's purse was found floating in Beaver Lake, which is the lake that she was going to go to. It was found in Beaver Lake near Deer and Bear Islands, and her friends and family members positively identified it as belonging to Alicia. I don't know why Melissa's on my mind. Now, in the past, Alicia had troubles. In 1998, one of her children was taken from her shortly after she gave birth because she admitted that she had been using drugs during the pregnancy. But her family had stated that lately she had gotten her life back on track. She was doing very well, and that she was no longer involved with drugs at the time of her disappearance. So that is good to hear. It looked like she was, trying to get her life back together. Got her kids back, and was doing very well. Now, her ex-boyfriend, Randall Todd Greenway, was from the outset considered a person of interest in her case, and that she was supposed to visit him on the day that she disappeared. Now, I don't know if that meant that she was going to meet him at the lake. It didn't, in all the articles I read, didn't state that, but just said that she was going to visit him. In the past, he had allegedly been abusive toward Alicia, and at least one report was filed, and Alicia claimed that he had dragged her by the hair and beat her. One of the articles stated that when the police arrived, I don't know if it was at her house or his house, that he had dragged her by the hair out into the driveway and beat on her, and that she had I think they said an egg-sized lump on the side of her head. So this was not a very nice fella. He had also had an extensive criminal record dating back to 1993. He had 6 felony convictions prior to June 7th. And recently he had pleaded guilty to drug charges after her disappearance, and he had been sentenced to 20 years in prison. So, like I said, not a nice guy. Now, according to documents, for over a month, Todd Greenway had been trying to convince Alicia to go to the lake. Now, to me, that raises a red flag, very suspicious to me. And this is about the same time that Todd Greenway had discovered that Alicia had been working undercover on some drug cases with the Rogers Police Department to actually help him out of some troubles that he was in with the police. But sometime after that, or sometime into her helping him, she changed her mind, and that she had told detectives that she no longer wanted her efforts to be of benefit to Todd Greenway. So there's one possible motive that he may have had to want to do something to Alicia. So we'll just keep that in the back of your mind. So in 2010, Randall, I think I was calling him Todd. I think his name is Randall Todd Greenway. Anyway, Randall Greenway was charged with the capital homicide of Alicia. He pled guilty to first-degree homicide, and he was sentenced to 40 years in prison with a plea bargain. Now, part of the plea bargain was that he was supposed to tell authorities where he disposed of Alicia's body. Court documents said that Greenway had taken Alicia to Beaver Lake, and he had taken his boat, I believe actually it was his father's boat, out to an island. He said that Alicia was talking about his then girlfriend, and that he became angry. He came up behind her, he cut her throat, he stuck her head in the water, assumably trying to drown her, and then he stabbed her in the forehead. So, like I said, this is a very, very gruesome, tragic death. He said he then wrapped Alicia in a shower curtain. He used a rope to tie weights to her. He got back in the boat, and he drove out a little bit from the island and dumped her body in the lake. Despite extensive searches of Beaver Lake, Alicia's remains have never been found as of 2023. So, now, in an interview with Greenway's girlfriend, who was the girlfriend that supposedly Alicia had been talking about and what made Greenway angry, told authorities that Greenway had told her that he had taken Alicia out on the boat to the island because she was, as he said, bitching about her, the girlfriend, and that made him angry. He told the woman, he walked up behind Minton, and we already covered what he did to her, so we won't repeat it. And he told the girlfriend that no one would ever find Alicia's body. And like I said, as of now, this year, 2023, her body has not been found. And I don't know when. Now the boat belonged to Greenway's father. The authorities examined it and said that the front of the boat was much cleaner than the rest of it, and that two 35-pound weights were missing from Greenway's home shortly after Minton's disappearance. So one would assume that was they had cleaned up the boat, because, as I told you, the way that she was killed would have been messy. Let's just say it that way. So I would assume they cleaned the boat, and that the two 35-pound weights were what he used to tie to her body to sink her in the lake. Now, as I said, part of Greenway's plea agreement required him to disclose where he had put Alicia's body. Like I said, he tied the weights to the body, dumped it in the lake, but with multiple searches, as of the time that this article was written, most recently, August 2017, there had been no sign of Alicia's remains. And Mr. Greenway will be eligible for parole after serving 28 years of his sentence. So, I think I said he was, in 2010, he was convicted. Like I said, I'm not good at doing the math, so I don't know what year that would be if he was eligible for parole after 28 years. But let's hope that he does not get parole, and this is just my opinion, and he remains in prison for the rest of his life, because he is not a good human being. Now this is Benton County Sheriff Sergeant Chris Sparks, who was, excuse me, let me get a drink. Sorry. Whatever sickness I have, my throat is so sore and scratchy. Anyway, this is Benton County Sheriff Sergeant Chris Sparks, who was a major person in the investigation of Alicia's disappearance and death. And it says he and a fellow officer drove over 3 hours to arrest Greenway on the homicide warrant at the Wrightsville unit of the Arkansas Department of Corrections. Now he says of Greenway that he wasn't very talkative, but he did say that he was eligible for parole at the end of this year, which was 2000, whatever year it was. My years are, I can't get the years straight. Anyway, that he was eligible for parole at the end of that year or sometime next year. I'm assuming he was referring to the drug charges that he had been sentenced to serve 20 years for. Now, Sergeant Spark says that he has had a few cases that have become more than just a case to him, and all good, detectives and people who work on these kind of cases, especially one as gruesome and tragic as this one, they stay with them. I don't know how they, compartmentalize, I guess, the cases, and but that it bothers them. He said that this is for sure one case that is going to stay with him. He has become very close to Alicia's family, and he says he wants to see some sort of resolution for them, because when you see all that they've had to endure, it pulls at your heart, and he wants them to find peace someday. Absolutely. I also wish that for them too. They find some kind of peace somehow, some way, even though they know who took the life of their loved one. Her body still has not been found. Hopefully, someday soon they can have the resources to be able to search the lake again and be able to recover her remains, so that she can be brought home and laid to rest. Like I said, I just wanted to bring you this story because it tugged at my heartstrings when I read it, of course. And I just want all victims deserve to have their stories out there so they're never forgotten. I always say that's my mantra: never forget. I would love to hear your thoughts about this case. Just always be respectful. That's all I ask. And please, I would encourage you to, if you like it, give a thumbs up, leave comments, share it to help get Alicia's story out there so more people can become aware. If you or anyone have experienced domestic violence, please do reach out to get help. It's just there's so much violence out there, and DV is just so prevalent. It's not only dangerous for the person involved, but it is also, I've read that one of the most dangerous calls that law enforcement can go to are DV incidents, because they're just so volatile. You're walking into an unknown. It's already a dynamic, explosive situation, and a lot of police officers have been killed, unfortunately, in the line of duty responding to domestic violence calls. Okay, I think that's all I have. Like I said, please like, share, comment on this video to get it out there. Share it in any true crime groups you may be in, or with any friends, family that are interested in true crime. Thank you very much for watching. It's very much appreciated. I'm just a small channel, and I just want to do my little part in getting the word out about our missing persons and unsolved cases. So until next time, please take care of yourselves. Please be careful out there. Be kind and help one another. That's the most important thing we can do in this world, is help your fellow man, woman, child. So until next time, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you later.